Hi guys, I'm Mark Rodriguez.
And I'm Johnny Rodriguez, and you're watching the Video Game Masters. Today we're going to review Dragon Ball GT Final Bout for the PS1.
But first, a little backstory on the game.
The Dragon Ball series was a big hit in Japan in the 80s, so naturally there were video games based on it, but they were only released for Japanese systems like the Famicom and Super Famicom. The first Dragon Ball game released for the Famicom was brought over to the States as Dragon Power, changing all the Dragon Ball characters and removing all Dragon Ball references.
There were 3 games released for the PS1 only in Japan, and of those 3 games, GT Final Bout was the first one released for the American PlayStation. However, this game was released way back when Dragon Ball Z was just starting out in the States and wasn't that popular yet. Later on, Dragon Ball Z became big in the States, and now everybody wanted the game. But by that time, it was very rare and hard to find. In fact, some companies like eBay were selling used copies for over $500.
What the fuck? $650 for that game? You gotta be crazy!
Now, after all of that, is the game really worth it?
No, it's not.
Huh, why not? Let's check it out.
Alright, I'm going to destroy you, Kakarot. Seems like this is gonna take some time.
Dragon Ball GT Final Bout is the first Dragon Ball game to feature characters from the GT anime. It's also the first to have 3D graphics, though they are extremely blocky and simple looking even for back then. The music, however, is pretty good, featuring redone versions of themes from past DBC fighting games.
You can select from 10 different characters from the start. You have the adult version of GT Son Goku, you have Pan, you have the child version of GT Goku, the GT version of Trunks, and Vegeta.
Plus, you also get Piccolo, Frieza, Majin Buu, Cell, and Gohan.
You can also unlock 7 hidden characters. You get the Dragon Ball Z version of Goku, the Super Saiyan version of GT Adult Goku, the Super Saiyan version of GT Trunks, the Super Saiyan version of GT Child Goku, the Super Saiyan Level 4 version of Goku, Vegito, and future Trunks from Dragon Ball Z.
6 Gokus and 3 Trunks. The only new character I see around here is Vegito.
The game has buttons to punch, kick, block, and to fire key shots. However, there are no throws in this game. The top buttons make you dash or take to the sky. There's no split screen in this game, but the beam struggles come back as the screen rotates whenever 2 big energy blasts clash into each other. Like most DBC fighting games, they have a separate life bar and a key bar, and you can charge up your key whenever it runs out. The fights are only 1 round long though. This game also has meteor attacks, which are auto combos that can be linked together or even reversed with proper timing. If you link enough of them together, you can finish off your opponent with an extra energy blast.
While the actual in-fight attacks were kept in Japanese, the pre-fight dialogue and win quotes were dubbed in English, but not by the Funimation guys.
Was there still a living Namekian? So, you're Frieza. You're a real freak. You're tougher than I thought. I shouldn't have been so careless.
Playing through the regular game has you face several opponents and unlock the Super Saiyan characters. The final boss you face is Super Baby, what GT fans know as Baby Vegeta in his golden Osaru form. Like most DBC games, the ending is the same no matter who you finish the game with.
Besides playing through the game normally, you can also fight out against your friend in 2-player style. Or you can enter tournament mode. You also have a build-up mode. In the build-up mode, you make characters stronger depending on what attacks you keep using, and you can save your stats in a memory card. You can also fight out against your friend with their own save-up stats and their own memory card.
Dragon Ball GT Final Bout is a horrible fighting game only worth picking up out of nostalgia. The gameplay is very slow, combos are impossible, and the beam struggles slow the game down even further. Fighting in the air is just a big mess, and whenever someone jumps over you, it takes forever for your character to turn around even you open to attack. In fact, you can beat anyone in the game with repeated crouching punches because the characters react way too slow to get out of it.
GT Final Bout is another one of those bad games that's only popular because of its DBC characters. Without them, the game's 10 times worse, and even then, why so many Gokus and Trunks? The only thing that saves this game from being completely bad are the character selection artworks, but other than that, avoid this poor excuse of a polygon fighting game.
And now we're going to talk about Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22.
DBC Ultimate Battle 22 is the second game to be released for the American PlayStation when the Budokai games were getting big, even though originally this game was made before Final Bout in Japan. The gameplay is similar to the 16-bit fighting games, but a little sloppy. The graphics are kinda okay, but the 3D backgrounds look really weird and out of place. The music is the only good part of the game, again making new versions of past tracks.
Like the title suggests, the game has 22 fighters, but thanks to an extra tip, you can have a total of 27 fighters. At the time, most DBC fighting games only had around 10 characters, and they were mostly just the Saiyans and the main villains, so I gotta give this game some credit for throwing in some characters like Krillin, Tenshin Han, Master Roshi, Mr. Satan, and even the Dragon Ball child version of Son Goku.
The game has buttons to punch, kick, and charge up your ki, and you can throw in this game. You can also dash or shift between fighting in the ground or in the air, which kinda gives the game an invisible split screen effect. All the famous attacks like the Kamehameha and Final Flash have been turned into big energy balls, so the beam struggles are gone. The fights are still one round long and you have 2 separate bars per life and for charging your ki. Although, to stay true to the anime, Mr. Satan, Android 16 and 18 can't recharge your ki.
The game also has medial attacks, which are basically fancy looking finishing moves that can be done at any time, like Master Roshi's Mafuba for example. Playing through the game has you fight all the characters, but you don't really get any different endings no matter who you finish the game with.
This game has the same 2-player mode, tournament mode, which is called championship mode in this one, build-up mode and build-up battle mode like the other game does. The only weird thing is that apparently in this game, you can use your save stats from GT Final Bout in this one. But it's kind of weird because originally this game was released way before Final Bout was ever made. And not only that, but GT Final Bout doesn't really have a lot of the same characters that this one does. So I don't know how that works.
The Japanese version of the game had cutscenes between several fighters, which were skipped out in the US version, most likely to avoid the problem of translating them all. But when you see how bad they looked, we weren't really missing much. Oddly enough, the announcer cutscenes for the tournament mode were kept in, still in Japanese.
There really isn't that much to say about the game. The gameplay is faster paced than the past 16-bit DBC fighting games, but still not as fluid and combo based as DBC Hyperdimension. The graphics and voices are cool enough, but the backgrounds are bothersome. It's a shame that the energy attacks were reduced to simple looking fireballs. It's awesome to have a big cast of characters to use, but it's a shame that they all didn't get their own endings because that would have pumped up the replay value a lot. The game plays leagues better than Final Bout, but still can't touch Hyperdimension.
Ultimate Battle 22 is only for Ultimate DBC fans, because the game doesn't deliver. It has average graphics and gameplay, and overall it's not that great of a game. Since DBC was getting big in the States now, Atari also re-released GT Final Bout, the same game but with a new cover and all the new company logos slapped over it. Kinda sucks whoever paid $650 for the older version.
Well, and as you know, Dragon Ball Z is a big hit in the States nowadays.
Why, Dragon Ball Z Kai's on TV.
Yeah, I know, it just never ends. And of course, due to all of that, Atari, Info Games, and other companies made a whole bunch of new games, like the Dragon Ball Z Budokai series, that new Burst event for the Xbox 360, and then you got Super Dragon Ball Z, just never stops, right? Well anyways, that's it for today's episode. We just want to take a quick look back at the older PS1 games and stuff. I'm Mark Rodriguez.
I'm Johnny Rodriguez.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Johnny, how much is that guy on eBay paying for Dragon Ball GT Final Bout?
It's over 9,000!